put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
So I am doing this, of course, in my truck. If you guys know me, I work nights, which is why I'm up late. So you might hear this annoying beeping noise in the background. But a video from Manosphere Highlight Daily came up on my feed, so shout out to them. They got some pretty good videos, and they were talking about, and one of the things he was talking about was, it was a comedian talking about talking about female intuition, and it reminded me of a conversation I had on Anton's platform, Anton Daniels' platform, a couple of weeks ago, and they were referring to cheating and how a lot of women, you know, that female intuition or whatever they get, that little sixth sense instinct they get, it was fairly true. And I was just like, well, I got my own intuition, and mine is damn near perfect. Like the accuracy level is like 100%. Like it has yet to like whenever I get that little sense, it has yet to steer me wrong. Sometimes I'll ignore it and wish I didn't, and then other times I'll do a little digging. So yes, it's not just female intuition, because for those who think that the female intuition gives women some sort of superpower or something like that, let me just say this: that's straight up bullshit. That's straight up bullshit. It does not give them any extra power, because men have it too. Intuition is more so based on instincts and how can I say it? Wisdom or prior knowledge or experiences. But it might be inherent to the person experiencing it, because the human brain is it is very complex. It can calculate like its ability to calculate information. You might not be able to access it, which is one of the things that kind of perplexes certain scientists and whatnot. Why the human brain is so complex, is able to do things like you don't have to think about breathing; you just naturally do it. Like there's a lot of things that go on in your body that your brain controls, but you yourself can't or don't control it, and it happens nonstop, 24/7. So essentially, your brain is a supercomputer. And what happens is intuition, whether you realize it or not, it's somewhat instinctive, where you're in a situation that you were in prior to that situation you're in currently. Your brain is picking up on minor little cues that are kind of linked, like kind of like deja vu. Your brain is picking up on minor little cues and everything that relates to that prior situation, and then subconsciously, it's sending a signal to your brain like, okay, something ain't right here, or you might get that subconscious thought like, okay, something ain't right here, or don't do that, or do this, or check into it a little bit more to be cautious, because it's supposed to protect us. But because women think and react on their emotions more than men, people they express their intuition damn near all the time. And if you heard the saying, a broke clock is right twice a day, well, just think of all the stuff that women talk about all the time, and say stuff about, oh, this doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel right. Well, I mean, she'll be right like every now and then. Yes, of course. But the thing is, then of course they're going to focus, and of course there is inherent. Unfortunately, there is a situation where people do only focus on the times that they're right, and it makes it seem like they're better than what they really are. But she might be right once or twice, but wrong like 10 times. Same thing with a guy. Now, men, however, the difference between men and women is we have, like, this is hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, people. So, yes, we think the way we think, but at the same time, it is also trained, in addition to how we are naturally, it is also trained into men to not void themselves of emotion, but to better control their emotion for survival. So sometimes when you go on the job, and I've heard stories, actually, my wife told me a story about someone, I don't know if it was someone related to her or not, but there was someone, it might have been a cousin or something she had. And her cousin was going out to this house party, and he didn't really feel like going, and he was just feeling some type of way about it. He was like, I really don't feel like going. And then eventually he mustered up himself, and he was like, oh, screw it, I'm just going to go. Well, what actually happened was someone shut up the party, and he ended up dying. Now, I don't, of course, there's some, you can't really predict situations like that. But some people would include that with intuition. For some reason he felt some type of way before he went. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone, but something happened. So we can't really explain it because there's no way he could have technically predicted that. But it did happen. Well, what I'm talking about is how we pick up on micro expressions when dealing with other people, how we see situations that might have played back or might seem like a deja vu, and we've actually seen a similar situation prior. And it's like one of those things where you meet someone and then, like, within a few seconds or minutes, you can tell whether or not they like you. You can't really explain why you feel that way, but you have this inherent feeling, this person doesn't like me or this person does like me. And one of the reasons why that is because the majority of communication is actually nonverbal. Unfortunately, that skill is getting lost today because people communicate via internet today. So social skills are at an all-time low today. But when you meet someone in person, your brain, we've evolved to be social creatures. So your brain inherently picks up on subtle, nonverbal social cues from other people. And it's a survival trait, because especially if you're a woman, because you need to know whether or not this man who is bigger and stronger than you means you harm, or if he just wants to take care of you. So that's why we had to evolve. We've evolved to pick up on certain social cues amongst one another, as well as other animals. Like we could see an animal snarling at us, showing its teeth, and inherently danger. It's why people are afraid of insects and snakes, because some of them are venomous and poisonous. So it's instinctual as well. But intuition is like an amalgamation of your brain potentially picking up on subtle cues you might not realize, and then it's kind of feeding that information to your brain when it's like, okay, danger, or something's not right here, or something like that. And one of the things I picked up on with the thing is, with the videos that I was explaining earlier, which I'm going to link in the description, was when they were talking about how women get that inherent sense that their man is cheating, and then therefore she goes out and cheats, which unfortunately is a fairly common thing. A woman gets caught cheating, and then she's like, well, I thought you were cheating, or it seemed like you were cheating, or whatever. Well, really what it is it seems more like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And when I say a self-fulfilling prophecy, let me tell a little story. Okay, so imagine we have Martha. Martha is with Thomas. Martha and Thomas have been together for, let's say, 6 months. They're digging each other. And then all of a sudden, something in Martha just says, something ain't right here. And then she starts to get this feeling that Thomas is cheating on her. She has no proof whatsoever. Thomas hasn't been acting any some way drastically different, but to her, she gets this intuitive voice in her head that says he might be cheating on you. Well, what happens here? Well, for one, if you're familiar with women, there's a concept of a woman acting what some people might call in the black community or certain communities as stink. And pretty much what this means is now, because Martha thinks Thomas is cheating on her, she will now treat him as if he wasn't. Meaning, without any proof, Thomas is now guilty until proven innocent, which, if I'm just being honest, once a woman thinks you're cheating on her, you're cheating on her. So she's going to treat you as such. So now she's going to start acting stink. If they were having sex or sexually active, the sex will stop, sometimes completely. And she won't do all those little favors and stuff she used to do for him. Now, Thomas will pick up on it. And as he has questions as to why she's acting the way she's acting, she's going to just continue to act, as I described earlier, stink. They're going to argue about dumb shit. Now, Thomas, he's trying to figure out, like, what the hell's going on. Because remember, Thomas isn't doing anything wrong. She just started acting this way out of nowhere. And he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. But in her mind, she knows he's cheating. And mind you how that changed. It went from she thinks he's cheating to now she knows he's cheating. Right? Because we're talking about the mind of a woman. It is a bit chaotic. And they think their emotions. And therefore, when she gets an emotion, she feels some type of way. It is what it is. So she knows he's cheating. Now, Thomas, not doing anything wrong. He's trying to figure out the situation. And because she has nothing technically has happened bad between them, what men tend to do is, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, he might be trying to fix the situation to see why she's acting a certain type of way, but he knows he hasn't done anything wrong. Therefore, he's thinking, well, maybe she's feeling insecure, maybe she's feeling this type of way, maybe that, this or that. So he's going to continue to try to make it work with her, unfortunately. But eventually, there might be another girl whom gives him the same favor sheet that Martha used to. And unfortunately, Thomas might start talking to her. And unfortunately, in addition to talking to her, Thomas might pursue her sexually because he's being sexually starved by his spouse. And as men, this is one thing that this is one thing women can't understand, which is we can have sex with someone and totally not care about them. Meaning I can love my wife and I can go screw another woman and I can come back home to my wife and absolutely love her and feel no type of way towards the woman. Now, the reason why women can't understand this, especially modern women today, because mind you, some women understand, but modern women today, they're so full of themselves. They only think the way they think the world thinks the way they think, which is, and here's the kicker: the reason why women think men cheating is a bigger deal is because they themselves know that when they step out on their man, they know what the deal is. They know that they're trying to leave that person, and they know they feel some type of way about the person they have sexual access to outside of their relationship. So in her mind, because she can't love more than one man at the same time, she transposes that onto her man and thinks, hey, if you're having sex with another woman, you no longer love me anymore, because that's what she would do. When she no longer favors him, she'll go have sex with the guy she wants. And that's what there is some stuff that supports that theory. That's the theory that I believe. That's really what it is. It's projection because they believe because they can't do it that therefore when their men do it, when in fact men can love more than one woman at the same time. It is very possible just because of the dynamic. Now, Thomas, when he steps out, it could have been the situation where he just needed a little sex. He needed a little bit of something that Martha stopped giving him. Because remember, Martha stopped giving Thomas all the support, emotional support and sex that he needed for the relationship to continue because intuition told her he might be cheating. So Thomas, like you would supplement your diet with vitamins and minerals, he supplemented their relationship with some outside pussy. Now, because Thomas is a man, he's not thinking about it too much. And he's like, oh, I just needed it, because for whatever reason, Martha just isn't doing what she's supposed to be doing or has been doing, and I needed something. I needed that attention, and she wasn't giving it to me for whatever reason. Now there's the problem. Now what tends to happen now is now the relationship starts to devolve because now Thomas actually has done something. So all of the prior notions that Martha had are now true because of her initial reaction, which was she stopped giving Thomas what she had prior to her assuming he was cheating. Now, they were talking about this in the Manosphere video. It was a comedian. He was talking about, how bullshit it was. And I actually was talking about it on Anton's channel because I actually had a personal experience with this very same situation. And I also made a claim. I made a claim because for some reason women think that when it comes to cheating, they're just smarter or trickier and whatever, wiser, whatever. No, what it is really is women just assume men cheat, and men don't assume that their women are cheating. So essentially, if you're looking for fire, you'll find fire. Because somewhere, something's smoking somewhere, and you'll eventually find it if you're looking for it. So if most women assume men are cheating or will cheat, what do you think they're going to do? Eventually, what happens is these women get that intuitive spark in their mind. Whenever something drastic happens, sometimes it's just time related. Like maybe every 6 months, she starts to feel some type of way. And then that intuition starts clicking in her mind, he might be cheating. Well, that's just what it is. Now, as men, because guys, not so much as today, but in general, guys tend to kind of somewhat ignore certain parts of their emotion, the irrational parts of it, because that's how we're trained. We're trained, well, not just trained, but that's how we are inherently. We are trained to better control our emotions, but we've naturally evolved to be a little bit more objective towards society, to realize the world for what it is, because it's based upon our survival. We need to know how things operate, otherwise we perish. And because we seek the provider role, we take care of the women, so they don't technically need to know how the world works. They just work within the world that's built around them. So naturally, men are more objective, but at the same time, we're also trained or fine-tuned to better control our emotions. And unless we have proof or evidence of that intuition spark that we get, we don't act upon it, because we have intuition too. All humans have some form of intuition. And as I said, I believe it's just a higher thought process that we don't have any control of within our mind. And it's our mind feeding us some sort of cues based off of whatever complex calculations it's picking up from the world around us. So that's what I think. So let me know what you think. What do you think about intuition? Do you think it's just a woman thing? Do you think female intuition is better inherently? Or do you think it's just emotional thinking and people basing what they think about reality or what they think might be happening, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy because of the way they react? So that's what I think. I will be linking those videos in the description. Thank you for watching. Until next time.